That's right. I liked the way you phrased that. Do you teach your clients how to say things in an objective, non-threatening way?
We work to make sure that their motives, it's impossible for my personality to become yours or someone else's, but we do want them, if people talk from their heart, out of a servant's heart, and truly want to contribute and add value to their lives, to the lives of the customers and the consumers, their heart will register in an intellectual way by saying, hey, this is how I really truly want to serve you. Let me ask you, what can I learn specifically on how to do this or what to do better? So we ask questions. We don't give a lot of answers, but I do give tremendous amount of opinion. Big difference.
Well, now there's a surprise.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I said that only because we're friends.
Yes.
What about emotional quotient? You talked about emotional quotient at the very beginning. How do you teach that, and how does that enter into your consulting with your clients?
Well, I am so excited about the EQ side of it, because for a long time we left sentiment out of work, and we left, that's just emotions, you leave that out. Well, our world has found out that you can't do that. As a matter of fact, I found out the other day that we are being able to read tremendous amounts of tremendous amounts of information on Twitter. Over 200 million people Twitter daily. That's what I was told the other day. Now, if I'm wrong, please write in to Elizabeth, not me. But there's so much information, so many voices out there, and I'm not sure what was our original
Emotional quotient.
Yeah,
What is the role that it
the
plays?
deal is that people are emotional. They're writing, I lost my job today. I got, I got a raise today. I became a grandmother today. All these emotional things are in our lives, and we can't shut ourselves off. So that's why you want people to have a sense of contribution and buy into the mission. If somebody said to me today, we're going to go fishing this weekend, I would be excited. If somebody said we're going to go golfing this weekend, I would say, where? Like, can I take a book while you
Yes, and stay
because
in the car.
emotionally I don't have that buy-in. Our emotional quotient makes all the difference in the world, and I recommend people become really students of looking it up, because there's so many meanings to it. But again, the heart, the motives, the enthusiasm, the caring, the contribution, and I'm not talking about enthusiasm like a cheerleader. I'm not saying they have to be real gregarious. I'm simply saying that a deep sense of passion and purpose that goes with life.
How does that translate to the corporate world?
When I go into a company, and I think we go into a restaurant or anywhere, all of us, we go into a big box store, we sense whether someone really wants to wait on us, help us, or work with us. It equates very strongly that if you have even one strongly negative individual in a group of 10, that person's personality will override emotionally.
And it could be negative or positive.
Very. Positives don't integrate quite as quickly as the negative.
I've heard that.
And it's really true. So you have a strongly negative input, just like that tsunami. It overtakes us. And then we need to right ourselves like a ship does. And there's times when some people need to just learn to shut up with their emotions, their attitudes, and their words.
Let's put it back into the corporate world then. Emotional quotient, boss, client, or boss and employees. How do we override the negative, and what do you do as master consultant, as a consultant with master consultants, to discover that and help people overcome it?
Well, I think everybody can identify with the fact that when we were little, if the principal said, we need to see you in our office, they may have wanted to give us an award for the playground, but probably not what we feel. If the boss says to us the night before, I need to see you tomorrow morning at 8, and it could be as simple as, I want to talk about a new project, but they didn't tell you why. We take a mental 180 back to, oh my gosh, why would they want to see me? What do they want to do? It's like the little red light on the car behind you that goes off, and okay, was I speeding? And they just want to tell us that our trunk wasn't all the way shut or whatever. See, we have this emotional response to the weighted value of the individual. So if they could fire me, if they have control of my finances, if they could hinder my work, if they could stop my career, I've just handed you my financial life. That is a huge emotion with that. So when a CEO, executive, department head, manager, lead person wants to talk to someone, Elizabeth, what I would appreciate you saying to me if I worked for you would be, hey, Melissa, I'd like to see you tomorrow morning, and it was something that I thought about the other day on a project, and I thought it'd be good. If they just add a simple sentence, because we presume and assume the why, and then that emotional quotient shrivels up and that pain starts. Am I making sense?
Yes. I have heard also that good decisions cannot be made when somebody is in high emotion, and maybe even fear, that a person has to calm that fear. So I would think that a good emotional quotient in a corporate area would be something that would be stressed and something people would strive for.
People are becoming a lot more interested in this piece. More, I think, what am I trying to think, when there's lots of generations, and we're all integrating, and lots of cultures integrating now together in businesses, we're forced to come to the table in a different way. And what I feel does make a difference in how I think. So most people feel, act, think, and we want people to think, act, feel. Well, you can think, act, and feel if you know and understand the mission. For instance, this is kind of an odd thing, but we took our son when he was very small, Tom and I, to the circus. Everything we went by, I want that, I want that. His emotions were going crazy. Well, my husband said, you have $10 to spend. Of course, this was 20 years ago, just so everybody knows that that was like $50 today, probably. Sure. But you have $10 to spend. Then his whole process changed, and he started to think. And he walked to a table and said, I like that, how much is that? And he processed, and then he could take action, because his want, his emotion, his excitement changed to a more, let me say, intellectual side. I know how much I have to spend. Now what I want measures up to what I have. See, people need to understand their job description, what's expected of them, clearly defined goals, and then they need to know they're appreciated for those things. And bosses, you know, even the word boss doesn't feel good. I do all organizational charts upside down. The owners, then the managers, then the people.
And what do the managers or the owners think about that upside down organizational chart?
I tell them before they get it that it's going to be that way, so I don't get too many. You never want to surprise a CEO.
Right.
Learn that. And don't surprise them.
That would be emotion.
Yeah, right. I've been there, done that. You know, I have a lot of explaining to do. But what I say is that you are the life, and the life is in the roots. And you are the life of this company. And everything you are permeates all the way through to the end. And it's so important that they understand that their attitude, one CEO walking through in a bad mood in a department will change the output unbelievably. Just that nonverbal attitude. And they weren't mad, maybe they just, you know, backed into their kid's bike that day. You know, or their child's, I shouldn't say kids. But the point is, they may be distressed about something totally detached from the workplace, but if they come in and carry an attitude, why is the boss in a bad mood? What's going on? Did you do something? Did I do something? And they may not talk to anybody until 11:30 that day and know that it wasn't heavy.
And as you said, the negative attitude is so much more powerful, stronger than the positive, and it's too bad that that is the way it is. We always think, what did we do wrong, instead of what did we do right? I shouldn't say we always, but people have a tendency to do that.
It's a Darth Vader effect.
Elaborate.
Darth Vader, you know, in the movies, in the Star Wars movies, you heard his breathing before he came in. A lot of people say, uh-oh, boss is coming in, the manager, oh, well, do you see so-and-so today there?
Yes.
Yeah, and even the effect of a really harsh person can cause a demotivated, collapsed, demoralized group.
Now you were saying we don't want to feel, think, do. Is that? But we
what
want
we
to.
do, no, what we actually feel, act, and then think like, oh, I feel like shopping. I'll go shop. Oh, I spent money. You know, and so what you want to do is.
And there's something wrong with that?
You're right. What's the problem? Anyway, chocolate. Well, a lot of times, like, and what we do is we need to say, okay, I'm thinking about this action. Okay, I want that, but I'm going to think it through. Am I making sense?
Yes, then we think, and then we act.
And then the feeling. But we need to have those in that corresponding because, again, normally we regret actions. This was somebody said this the other day. I know if I'm having too good a time at a party by the look on my wife's face because there's a message, okay? Think about your life and how you're acting about your life. Act on good, solid information and feel great about your life.
When I started this program, I said, what about that work relationship? What about that other relationship? How does that then look if somebody is going to think and then act and then feel? We want to assess it, and it could be with our spouse, it could be with our children, it could be with our bosses. How would you role play that if you saw the boss in a bad mood or you were thinking that you might be in trouble? How would you approach the boss? Timing's
everything. Do I really want to bring up? You have to think about this. Do I really want to bring this up right before I want to go to sleep in an hour? If I bring this subject up at home right now, I will not go to sleep till 2 o'clock in the morning. I still want to deal with it. I think it through and think maybe the better time is 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Now, there are some things you have to deal with, and I understand that. I'm not talking about responding to a call or something that came up. I'm talking about thinking about those crucial conversations. I know I want to talk to the boss about making more dollars. They promised me I would be by September. This is already March, but I know that we were in a down cycle. So the last few months, how can I approach thinking through, is this the right timing to approach that person and state, I know we talked about this and I understand and appreciate Ms. X or Mr. A, but we did talk about that. What can I do to help influence the positive profits in this company so we can talk about the raise?
That is done in a very adult way, a professional way. And I appreciate what you just, I love role-playing. I love phrases that are effective. Would you say, Melissa, that women may have a little bit more trouble, and I'm just asking, not trouble, a challenge, in putting the thinking before the feeling, especially if we as women are going to approach a boss, or do you think it's across the board, same gender?
Well, being a woman-owned business, starting my business when I was 26 years old, and recognizing that I'm more of an emotional person, and I know a lot of, I interviewed 7 people today for a job. Most of them were women. Some of them were just black and white informational. Some of them were more emotional and excited type of people. I don't believe it's gendered as much as it is people's expectations of us. There's a lot of nonverbal expectations of women and men even today. Women, I just picked up one of your books right before, and it was from 1976. Women can cry, men can't cry. You know, it was all these things that were culturally put on us. When we treat people with dignity and respect, recognizing that if I share from my feelings, I'm still important. And sometimes whoever's listening, see, it's the job of leaders to listen, whether it's from, and they need to say, hey, I'm not sure what you're saying, but I'm hearing you say that you're a little unhappy. Tell me more about the specifics, why. I recommend male or female, get specifics, intellectually be able to protect your argument, support your communication. You know, they say, well, I feel like I've been ignored lately. Well, go in there and say, the last 3 times you come in through the office last month, you didn't give me any time.
So you give specifics.
Give specifics.
We could go on and on.
I love this.
Out of time.
Stop.
Stop.
Melissa,
thank you, Melissa Jaegle, Master Consultants. And thank you for watching us. I know you've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. And until next time, have a good evening. Goodbye now. That was great.